Hello. All right, I want to get right into this. Today, look, I just set my camera up on a stick, and the sun, of course, the rays were right behind me as soon as the stick was leaning. Anyway, all right, my name is Dr. Cheryl Meier. I'm a psychologist and a YouTuber and a life coach. And I am a roller skater and a musician and an artist and a soul having an experience here on this earth as a human being. So anyway, today I wanted to talk to you guys about how to hack your life. Not hack in a violent way. Hack, let's break into the code here. Let's understand in a gentle way, but nevertheless firm, real, powerful, in a powerful way. Let's feel nature for a second. This will help you ground, and it goes into how I'm gonna teach you how to do this. I hear someone coming. Maybe it's the couple I saw earlier. So if you ground yourself and feel yourself in your heart space. Look what my shirt is today. A rose. Fan the flame. A heart and a rose. So all right, feel yourself in your body. Get in touch with your senses. Be in the now. Welcome. It's my passion to understand how life works and how to not stay in a victim position and not be controlled by addictions or other people or life or whatever tries to pull us back, unconsciously or consciously. That's what I'm about, getting through, bursting through those walls, understanding the true nature of your being. So first, let's start with, if you are a soul in a human body having a human experience, then let's see, I don't know what you're seeing here. Okay, then you want to know yourself. I mean, you get to choose, but you're here, so I'm guessing you want, what I found out through all my experience and my studying of this. I've studied this for over 20 years. I wrote my first book when I was 16 because I just wanted people not to feel like they were alone in understanding their path. And it's just my passion. So let's just get into it. Right. So if you're a soul in a human body, then you're much more than this physical substance. You are a multi-dimensional being, let's say. I brought my notebook. So what happens in our society, in our world, is, and I don't know how much of this is purposeful or not, so you don't have to worry about that. But how people are describing it right now is they say things like ascension or moving from 3D to 5D, or leaving your egotism behind and living according to your soul self, or even what Christ taught 2,000 years ago was dying to yourself daily and following this path of higher consciousness, higher love, letting your old self be transformed, metanoia. That's the word for repentance, but it means metamorphosis of your nous. in two Greek words, meta, like metamorphosis, and noia is your nous, your soul's being, or it's a mysterious word. It's hard to put that one into terms. But anyway, you don't have to get all complicated with this. What I want us to understand today, what's been made clear lately to me, is that we're in this place where the news or media or whatever will keep us in a state of fear or a state of reactivity or a state of being triggered. And when you do that, then you're like addicted to the news and you keep wanting to go back and find out more. And it's kind of like, I want to make another video on addictions, because I've really been looking at that lately. And anyway, in an addiction, you keep wanting to run back for another high. And at first it's fine, but then you need a higher high to get high again. Like I was thinking on my run here, I was running when I was in Turkey. I went to Turkey and visited all these religious sites and all these temples of different, really old places. That's funny. It's just really old places. Anatolia, Göbekli Tepe. When I was just in Athens a few months ago, I went to the Temple of Poseidon, and anyway, while I was there, though, some of my friends from other countries smoked. So one night I just had a cigarette with them, or a couple nights. And I don't recommend this, so I'm not recommending this for people, because, I don't want to recommend anyone to do something that they might get addicted to. So, but for me, I smoked a cigarette and I was like, wow, this really gives you this buzz, and like calmed down my feelings and my racing thoughts or whatever. And then, I'd have a drink, and then it was like, oh, wow, I really feel relaxed and uninhibited because I hardly drink, and, and this morning I never drank coffee, and, I drank coffee when I was there too. I had Turkish coffee. I was just like, I'm on a trip and I wanted to try new things, and I was ready for the experiences. And I felt like I was in a safe place. So I just like opened my heart and experienced everything. Sometimes when you're in a different place, you get that feeling like you can. But I do that now. Anyway, I carried that back with me, and I was already becoming like that in my life, is to try new things and be adventurous. And I'd gone to these wilderness classes before, and the guy that was teaching us was taught by this Apache Indian, and they called him grandfather. But anyway, he taught, when you're on your way back or going somewhere, always go a different way. And I laughed at that, like, why would we go a different way? But now I understand it so much more, because they would walk trails, and I know that on all these trails behind me, it's like I can walk the same way. Or one day I met a different guy that had gone mountain biking a lot, this older gentleman, and he was so sweet. And we went on all these other trails that I'd never gone on. And I had gone on these trails for like over a year or something. I don't know at that time, but I was, I wrote these things down, so let's look into them. But what I was going to say about the smoking and drinking or whatever is, when you learn how to practice a meditation, even though it can be boring or whatever, it seems boring on the outset, what you learn is you learn how to raise your vibration. And I'll show you the scale of consciousness so you can understand it. I brought it in my backpack. Oh, I want to get some water too. And so as you raise your vibration, you're naturally in that state. So what I was saying is, I had coffee this morning and I was doing this puzzle, and I noticed I was finishing this puzzle. So hopefully I'll put the pictures in here if we have time, or in a different video, because I'll tie this all together. But the puzzle, I started noticing as I was drinking more coffee that I started feeling jittery, and I was like, I wonder if I have all the pieces. I wonder if one of the pieces is missing. I wonder, and I got all neurotic, a little bit more neurotic. But I have learned through meditation to observe my thoughts. So I was just watching my thoughts and laughing, like, it's gonna be okay. It's a puzzle, And I was just thinking, like, how is life like this? How is it that we can be like so caught up in the details of life that we forget to live and we forget to be present, and we're so caught up. Jesus said, do not let your heart be troubled. Don't, and when you look at the Greek, and that I look at Christ's teachings as always teaching you a higher path of consciousness, a higher path to live, a way to experience more love in your life than you ever experienced before, a way to be like the vibration of God. God, you're aligned with God. If Christ says, I am the way, then you're learning how to align yourself in this way. And so I'm part Indian, I'm part Native American, Cherokee, and one other tribe. But, anyway, so registered Cherokee Indian, anyway. So I gravitate towards that as well. I'm open to a deep form of spiritual path, and I love Buddhism and all these different religions. I love Rumi. He's a mystic Sufi poet, and Bob Marley. I love Bob Marley, even though at the end he converted to Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity. So he was Christian before he died, if any of these labels matter. But I love the depth that the Rastafari go into, and the Jewish mystics. And anyway, I study all of this stuff. Besides psychology, I studied theology in school, and but I don't want us to get up in our head. I don't want you to feel like you have to have a lot of book knowledge to get what I'm talking to you about, because I keep meeting people like roller skating and stuff, and their experience in life has taught them so much, and they're learning the same ideas that I have been taught through books by being aware in life. So going back to the puzzle and the Greek of do not let your heart be troubled, don't let it be tossed around and in anxiety. That's a discipline. Okay, so how to hack your life, all right, is the main thing that I wrote down as an umbrella phrase, so that your ego, because your egotism can get all, it wants this, and this, and we can have things organized. So we'll have things organized today. I'll have things more organized. Normally, I'm just talking, and it's important, if you want to sit with me. The Rastafari, I think, what do they call it? Reasoning together. It is when they sit and contemplate these things and they're discussing. I forgot the word that I met with this Rastafari man one night, and another Bob Marley festival that I was at, but this was the singer for the Wailers right now, Josh. I met with him, and we had so many similarities on our path. It was so beautiful. But anyway, I forgot the word for it, but they call it reasoning together when you're sitting. And so my other videos, if you sit with me, it sometimes will look like I'm not saying a lot, but I'm planting seeds for you to understand different ways to think, different ways to contemplate, different ways to open up your mind to deeper thoughts, to understanding your life from a different perspective. And so anyway, this is going to be more specific and pointed, is create a space to honor your intuition. Your intuition, like tuition schooling, like your inner knowing. You have, when God says, as a mystery, always enter, you don't have to, but I always look at these things as this mystery, okay? So it's like this unfolding, ever unfolding, ineffable mystery that you just begin to enter into as it unfolds, like a kaleidoscope, but as it unfolds, you get more and more clarity. Just like when I was doing my puzzle, it kept feeling like this piece ought to fit right here, and it matches the color, and then when I turned it around and it didn't still fit, but it fit right next to it. Or when I thought it did fit and it threw off my whole puzzle, and then I had to just let it sit there and go, oh, that piece didn't fit there, and I took it out. This is okay, so let me describe what that is how you create a space for your intuition, which is your own compass and your own inner knowing that is God-given. One of the ways you can create a space for this is by creating a practice, cultivating stillness in your life by creating a practice of meditation. And don't be worried or put off by the word meditation, okay? So this is like 5 to 10 minutes in the morning and 5 to 10 minutes at night, okay? Like bookends in the morning. And I know everyone's like, let's work out in the morning. Let's eat a healthy breakfast in the morning. Let's do that. There's like a million things I would like to do for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning. I know. Practice my guitar, learn German or French or whatever, So, but honestly, all those other things, you'll know when to do those things if you sit. And some people, they light a candle and they say, I met this guy named Aaron Dowdy through Zoom classes. Okay, so I haven't met him in person yet, but he has like 1 million followers or whatever. Not that any of these labels matter for anything on YouTube. So he has a lot of good YouTube videos, and I just came across him a few months back, and he's really helped me and inspired me. And but I'm sure he has flaws. I'm just saying, like, I'm not always recommending people like wholeheartedly, but as much as I know of him, like, I really like where he's going and what he's working on doing, and most of his videos, they're like 20 therapy sessions in one video. The one on worthiness, and I've talked about it before in some of my other videos. I talked about what happened after I did those, but anyway, so I was in this class with Aaron, and he's teaching us all these things, and I want to convey some of them to you, but I'll give him credit for like bringing a lot of these things to my mind in a different way, and not just psychological words, blah, 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 because those are really fun too, but they can get heady and boring. So, and spiritual too. I want everyone of all different religions to be able to access this stuff and not be put off by a certain religion or whatever. But also, if you have a deep faith in something, know that that's fantastic and amazing, and you can go deeper in your faith practice. But okay, so let's go back to when you cultivate, when you spend 5 minutes, just imagine this for a second. Imagine this, 5 minutes to 10 minutes in the morning. And so Aaron was saying he takes a candle, and he showed us how to do this, like how he did it. He just walked us through. Anyway, and so so I have this $2 Christ candle where it's like the Sacred Heart of Christ. It's like my shirt, like the rose, but it's a fire, and it's the heart of Christ. And to me, he represents so much, like the God-man or whatever, but also love, just the embodiment of love on this earth. So whenever I'm confused about how do I truly be loving, how do I show up as a loving being in myself and to other people and with my clients and here on YouTube and whatever, and so he always reminds me what that is, Christ does. So anyway, so Aaron was saying he used to be labeled like ADHD, and he takes this candle now, and since 2012, I commend him for that. That's great, because you can see the evidence of what it's done in his life. You really can. Like, I haven't seen him before, but I can see, because I'm a psychologist too, I can see things and the way energy works and the way people are. I can read them, I guess, whatever, but from my past too. So I experienced different kinds of deep pain in my childhood as well. So I'm not just speaking as this person that's like, oh, everything's just been great, and here I am, and I'm a doctor, and I'll tell you all the answers. No, I've experienced a lot of deep pain, and I'll talk about that too, just how to reframe this. Okay, so how to not be afraid of the deep pain and not be defined by that. So anyway, So he was talking about he was labeled ADHD, and then he's letting go of the labels, but practice looking at a candle, because he's noticed that when his eyes wander, his mind would wander. And so if you're staring at a candle for 5 or 10, make sure to blow it out at the end, okay? So you're staring at this candle in the morning, and and I've talked about this some in other videos, you just let your thoughts surface, let them be there, let them come, let them go. You're not trying to control anything. Our egotism wants to try to control things, okay? So if you're looking at this candle and you're just letting your thoughts come and go, imagine 10 minutes in the morning of doing that, of what happens, and 10 minutes at night, okay? What happens in the morning is all these rushing thoughts of, I need to do this today and be this and blah, 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 blah. All of these thoughts come up and they can dominate your life. But if you learn a practice, this is a discipline of not giving weight to all of these thoughts that go, hey, I want your attention, I want your attention. Look over here, you know. You learn not to be afraid of your thoughts and not to just believe your thoughts, but just let them come and let them go and go, oh wow, you know, like it was so great because when I was doing my puzzle today and my intuition called me to do this puzzle, right? That's what we're talking about here. But so I'm like, you know, sometimes you're like, why am I doing a puzzle? Like there's so many other things I need to be doing and getting done in my life. Okay, I'm sitting and honoring my intuition and doing this puzzle. And then I noticed like these anxious thoughts about the puzzle. And it's like, it's just a puzzle. What if the pieces aren't there? What if you lost them? What if one fell on the floor? What if they made this puzzle wrong and the pieces don't fit together somehow? I tricked you, you know? I just could notice by watching my thoughts during the puzzle and by just not being that attached to them, some of my patterns of just, you know, because people were out to get me in childhood or whatever, or they didn't protect me or whatever, sometimes I will just think people aren't being protective, or I'm not knowing yet how to protect myself. And then things happen in my reality because I have that fear, you know. It's like what's on the inside of you is what you start creating on the outside. Okay, so but don't be worried about that. So as you learn to just watch your thoughts and observe them, then this creates a space for your intuition to have room to teach you about life, to teach you about your deeper soul life. Okay, so one thing that happens in our world right now is that our world is geared to keep us in this 3D mindset for whatever reason. And so some people that are in their egotism and in positions of power want to keep everybody else in egotism because they think they're more easy to manipulate or to pacify, control, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. There's parts of ourselves that are scared of our true power, that forgot our true power, our true soul nature. It's like the Orthodox Christians say that God became man so that man could become God. It's called theosis. And so it's this transformation into your God self or whatever. Even Christ says, ye are gods. Somewhere, it's with the little g. And I don't know all of the mystery of this, so don't, I'm just saying don't worry about it. But, okay, so how you create a space for your intuition, how to hack your life so that you're not controlled by all these other, okay, this is what was by these other forces, so that you are aware of your soul self and live according to, like, if you could live with 2% of your capacities and power, or 1,000%, 1,000 out of 100, you know, which would you rather live in? I'd rather live with 1,000% of my capacities and not be controlled by other people and not be asleep in my own life. This is what happens, is we don't realize how asleep we are in our own life. and how we're just running after the same things over and over again, keeping ourselves in like a hamster wheel. So what happens? So first, all right, let me get some water. As you observe your thoughts, then you are more aware of how people are operating around you, and how the news and the media and all of that stuff is operating around you. As you go in, you can notice more how you're in automatic thoughts. And the 3D world will, let's say, it has you more in fear. So you're triggered all the time and you're reacting, and you are in judgment of yourself and other people, and you're always, they're not measuring up, you are not measuring up, and you're caught in this loop of judgment and trying to figure out how you can measure up or how you can get certain things. And we're moving out of that consciousness. We are. And so if you're here, that's great, because this is okay. My phone got overheated, my camera did. So what I was saying is, if you're here, if you're already here, then your soul has called you to this place. I believe it like that. You know, the universe orchestrated for this video to come into your life. And I'm so happy for you because like, you can change your life right now. You can truly come into your own power in a way that normal life doesn't teach you how to do this. And like Eckhart Tolle will say, he said, this is what Christ was teaching, this is what all the other mystics were teaching, all the other ancient teachers, but it's kind of like this hidden path, and we don't know why it's still a secret when it's out in the open. It's being told all the time. So, all right, one way to understand it is to know that we're moving out of 3D consciousness and into 5D consciousness. And so some people call it third density consciousness, or 5 density, or 5th dimension, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about spiritual terms or whatever religion you have again. But let's go back to understanding frequency and understanding if you have an intuition. And what does Christ mean when he says, die daily and walk with me, walk this way, walk this way? You know, he's giving us a way to live life on a higher level. If you look at the Matrix movie, the first one, you know, it's kind of like before Keanu Reeves got out of the Matrix, and he saw then that it was like a computer simulation program, and he saw that everybody was just hooked up, and, you know, as long as they were asleep, they remained like battery packs, you know, and it's just like people, something somewhere was draining energy out of them. And that's one way to look at this. I read the story once of this woman in Russia that said she wrote all of those movies, so I don't know about that, but it's interesting, you know. Because intuition is like a feminine aspect, and intuition will show us deep insights, and we have both masculine and feminine aspects in us. So your intuition, but everyone has intuition, and so it's learning how to create a space for your intuition, for you to feel safe. Like when I do some of these guided meditations, like the worthiness one that Aaron has, you know, he has you relax all these different parts of your body first, so that you're in this loving, relaxed place, so that you feel comfortable to go into the shadow side, into the dark parts of yourself, and just look at them and feel the feelings that are there and let them not be stuck in you anymore. But it's like no one teaches you before how to create this safe space inside yourself. Imagine the safety that's created by you having a practice of detaching from your thoughts, from not buying into every one of your thoughts and just giving attention to the loudest one, that says, hey, I want to smoke, I want to drink, I want to do this, or I want to be addicted to this person, or I want to be addicted to this, to video games, or to watching TV all day long, or to work, to trying to earn more money, to try to prove my worth, or buy people stuff so that they'll like me, or, get a certain body weight so that I'll be accepted, It's so important to honor your body and to treat it with dignity and respect. And you can't tell, but well, you can't tell right now, but you can see in some of my other videos, from the beginning, from a little over a year ago, I was a size 12 and now I'm wearing a size 2 or a size 4. So that's 10 sizes difference, Someone the other day was like, "What? Something looks different about you, Cheryl," because they've seen me throughout this whole year, but all of a sudden, and I wasn't wearing clothes anymore that hide myself. It's so funny. Anyway, I won't go into that. Let's go into, so I'm just saying, really amazing changes can happen, but I had tried a million diets before. And so when you try things from egotism and from 3D mindset, then you just keep getting mad at yourself and judging yourself, and then you feel shame, and then you go back to whatever addiction, or even me worrying about my body weight all the time probably created a bunch of cortisol that made it so that I had the stress hormone that made my body hold on to weight, and hold on to fat, or who knows, but becoming more active has done so much for my life. But I've only become more active probably because I've learned how to heal a bunch more stuff in my inner life, through very, very painful experiences. So, all right. So let's look for a second. I brought this chart. So let's look at the chart of consciousness. All right. If I brought it on my trail, then let's look at it. So I'll hold it up. You guys can take a screenshot if you want. I forget. I think Hawkins is the guy who came up with this, but I couldn't find it in the book I have. I got a book of his called Letting Go, and there's Power versus Force, and I couldn't find this chart in it. But anyway, if you look at the top, it says enlightenment and peace and compassion and joy and love and reason and acceptance and willingness and neutrality. And then it goes down from that I had a notification, even though my phone's off on. Okay. And then it goes down to courage and pride. And below pride is anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and shame. Shame is at the lowest, okay? I'll hold it up one more time. All right, so if you think of what kind of life you're going to be living if you're in this high vibration of enlightenment and compassion and joy and love, and even reason is a place. So we're talking about right now using your mind. You have the capacity to use your mind with reason, or use your mind to keep trying to get yourself to run after these same things and stay in automatic and stay in sleep. You're in sleep. Stay a battery pack in the matrix. I don't want to do that. So okay, so in the 3D mindset, so this is how you hack your life and you get out of the matrix and get free, okay? Is know that you have an inner knowing, and you have a higher soul self, and there's the divine love, whatever. So a lot of this is learning how to trust God, but that's not easy for some of us when we were very trusting as children and our trust got betrayed. And so I'm not just being like, oh yeah, trust God, but you learn how to Replace it with the word love, with capital love. Like, seek first the kingdom of love, the way of love. In my meditations the other day, I kept writing the word righteousness, but my intuition was having me right wayness. And it's not like you have to be right or wrong or black and white and all that stuff. But when you think of aligned in this, in light, you're letting this, there's someone coming on the trail, but we'll see what happens. You're letting this light come in. You're living aligned with your soul self instead of your egotism, which is like, if you were a soul and you came down here and you were in a Barbie doll, and you kept thinking you were just this Barbie doll instead of this expansive soul that's animating this Barbie doll, and you lived a Barbie doll life instead of this life from your soul. So, all right, 1 second. Hi.
Startled me there.
Oh, sorry.
It's a great spot you got.
Isn't it great? Thanks. Have a good one. All right. Yeah, I made sure to be off the trail this time, so I won't block the trail. So by your daily practice, okay, when you commit, you're committing to yourself to a daily practice of meditation, and that just means being quiet, of not thinking, and not even not thinking, just allowing your thoughts to be there and not attaching to your thoughts. Learning the discipline of not attaching to your thoughts, you free your mind. And by doing that, by learning how to observe your thoughts, you see them and you don't get attached to them. You just hold them like I was holding the ones to my puzzle, and they seem so pressing, like, oh my gosh, if you don't do this, if you don't open your mail and do this and clean this, blah, 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 then your world's going to fall apart. Everything's going to go to crap and blah, 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 and it's like, no, just, you're allowing yourself 5 or 10 minutes every morning and every night. And actually, when I do yoga, at the end of it, you just lay down in the corpse pose or resting pose and you sit there for 5 minutes. And he's like, this is the most important pose of all of this. If you tried hard today, even if you didn't, but this is the most important, because you're just laying there and you're not thinking for 5 minutes and you're letting everything assimilate that you just did in your body. And all of the you can't see it in the light, but anyway, yeah, there's my muscle. I got all muscular from just doing yoga. But all of that assimilates, and your body is letting it rest and absorb or whatever. But anyway, so by learning how to observe your thoughts, what happens is you neutralize your resistance. So our resistance, we spend so much energy, like, don't think about that, don't think about that. You better not go into that painful place. And we don't realize how much we're avoiding going into our shadow self because we don't like that aspect of ourselves. We think we're going to be rejected. We're going to reject ourselves. And so by observing your thoughts, you can look at those and go, am I that? Am I really that? Or am I the soul? Who are you right now? Am I these old labels, or am I a soul having an experience and I can learn from all my past mistakes? They were a mistake, I don't have to be bound by them. I don't have to keep running to addictions to numb myself or to get a high, when I can learn how to have a natural high in life, because I learn how to vibrate at a higher frequency, because I'm not afraid of my old pain and I'm not numbing it all the time and running away from it. So the 3D mind stays in fear, stays in judgment, stays in guilt and shame. It's linear. It keeps thinking of what I did in the past, what I can be in the future. It's not in this present. As you notice, a lot of people aren't just going outside and being in nature. Being in nature. Be present in the moment. Give yourself your presence. It's what I lacked and I longed for so much in childhood, is someone's deep, loving presence with me, just being present with me and not trying to buy me stuff or, just fix my problems in some short-term way, or just like take me to another class. I'm glad I learned gymnastics and stuff. I'm glad I learned to be in my body in that way. But as much as your own parents are in their own unconsciousness and afraid to be themselves and be alive and passionate and vibrant within themselves, and they numb themselves and are just numb with each other, then that's what you learn how to be yourself. And, you don't feel a resonance with this live, joyous, childlike part of yourself that wants to be welcomed and protected and nourished and have affection and holding and all this stuff. And so it's like when that doesn't happen, you learn to shut down as well, and you learn that you're not safe to be in that. And what we're learning is how to go back to that place of living in your soul self. This is how you hack your life, is you learn how to get back to this place of love. And so you're not in this guilt and shame and fear and using other people like objects. When you are living in your egotism, you use yourself like an object, like you're smoking yourself. You are an object and you've objectified yourself. And it's the very thing I hated in childhood, is feeling like an object and just used or pushed around in my own ways, in the ways that happened to me. When you develop deep presence, you learn how to reparent yourself with this loving, unconditional part. And I know all of this sounds like just beautiful words, but I've had to work hard, and I've met some great people lately. This one guy that we skate with named Mario, he was talking to me. Where's he from? Brazil, I think. And he was talking to me about Carlos Castaneda and some other mystic writers. I can't remember the name of that book, by Coelho, where you're following your intuition in each of it. But anyway, he was saying, like, I was like, I have cried so many tears on this path. And he's just like, girl, that's what it is. He's like, so many tears that we cry. It's just letting go. It just feels like there's going to be an endless amount of tears, but I haven't had a lot of tears lately, but I'm not afraid of any of my sadness. A couple days ago, I cried for one of my friends. They just experienced a deep loss, and I just cried from my gut, like just feeling it. It says mourn with those who mourn, and she wasn't with me, but I was mourning with her, and then I was able to reach out to her in her pain. But anyway, he was just talking to me about the so many tears that he's cried, and I was like, mine feels like Niagara Falls. He's like, that's how you know you're on the right path. And so I'm like, this smile, this easygoingness, this love that I have that's flowing through me doesn't come by just like sing-songing through life. It's come through me facing a lot of my pain and letting myself feel my feelings and letting myself feel the pain in my past, because I learned how to be detached and not hooked into everything that says, I want your attention, I want your attention. If I gave my attention to all the fear and the guilt and the shame and all this other stuff and didn't learn how to forgive myself and forgive other people, then I would be so caught up in that. I wouldn't create this space inside that's quiet and unconditionally loving, that allows these deep old wounds to come up and surface and then be let go of. So I'm not carrying them anymore, and I'm not living my life running away from them. And so egotism has attachments. You're stuck to this end result. Is like, I'm doing this because of this. I'm dating this person because I want to have this relationship and I want it to be perfect and I want to feel like this and look like this. And who knows, it's just like, or actually just be present with yourself and be in love. And then like someone who's like-minded and like presence and being will come alongside and be like, hey, that's so fun. I do this too. Would you like to walk this path with me? It's so much more fun, let me tell you. So egotism runs after things and achievements and wants to acquire stuff, and it's never enough for egotism. And so you're lost in all of that, and you're not in this quiet space. You're not in this space of being. And when you're not in the space of being in this present moment, then it's hard for you to get in touch with your inner knowing. That's your intuition. Everybody. It's like in that song, let's get it started. Someone was playing it the other day while I was roller skating, and it was like, and then we were just doing all these splits. And the coolest thing, it's on my Instagram, like it was just so wild. Like we were just being, and it just happened. And then my friend that was recording on my phone had let's get it started. And it's like, follow your intuition, let go of inhibitions, blah, 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 blah. It was so rad. It was so perfect. And these things just line up effortlessly when you're in your soul self, you know? It's like, who says I can go roller skate in the middle of the afternoon? Like, who knows? Like, I had to give myself permission to be a person that does that, you know? So other and your egotism is in autopilot mind, and it does the same thing every day and has the same feelings every day, and has the same reactions every day to other people. And like yesterday when I was roller skating, because I'm used to observing my mind, these women came up next to me, and I was just doing yoga first on the grass by roller skating. And they were just blah, 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 talking about, you know, drama. And I was just like, why am I hearing this? You know, and I had to detach and just be like, maybe it's for a reason that I'm hearing this. Just let it go and don't let it annoy me, because why am I getting annoyed? Just go back into my present. And then I was just like, wow, I was so like that before. It was always like this problem and this problem just seemed so insurmountable. And we had to talk it out with my girlfriends, and we spent all this time talking about problems, you know? And it's like, I used to do that with my mom. It's like, it just feels like such a waste of time and energy. It's like, just learn how to be with no thought. And then you get into a higher state of consciousness and unconditional love. And those problems like resolve themselves, or they don't keep coming into your life, you know? And so it's like when we're always in all these problems and we're always running after ego things, we're never measuring up. Other people aren't measuring up for us, and we're judging them. And I'm like, oh, I never want to be in an ego relationship again, where it's just like, you know, you have to do this, this, and this, and be this, this, and then this. Hi. In order to be in this relationship, you know? Enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's just, it's so boring to me. Like I don't want to treat someone like that. And I don't want to be treated like that. So I'm learning though, this is how you hack into life and how you have a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, you know, let it, la vida loca, you know, is by, that doesn't mean that. Anyway, the bella vita, and that's a crazy life, but that's fun too. It seems crazy to other people. The bella vita, that's how the song goes. The bella vita. Anyway, it's a beautiful life. Let it in your heart, you know. Anyway, so all right. So I wrote down here that Christ said that when I go, it's in John 14, I think. I remember because my grandmother would quote from it right before she passed on. And that passage would stick in my mind. It's around there. But it was like, when I leave, the Spirit will come. The Holy Spirit will come and reveal all things to you. And Jesus said to the woman at the well, like, there will be a time when people will worship in spirit and in truth. They don't have to come to this mountain or this temple in order to understand God and be aligned with God, you know? And so I'm not teaching a new religion. It's in there. It says, be still and know. Be still, and in your knowing self, you can know what unconditional love is. And so when you also learn this practice of stilling your mind morning and evening, even if it's boring, practice it. Watch what happens after 21 days of doing it. Watch how you see life differently. You experience life differently. You experience life on this higher consciousness level. You're not giving in to all these blah, blah, blah. You need to watch the news. You need to do this. You need to take this test. You need to wear this. You need to oh my gosh. There's so many voices that that you don't have any discipline to keep them out when you haven't practiced that in your own life, to your own voices, that they all pretend to be you, and they all pretend to be very important. And it's like when you learn how to detach, and that you already are, you are whole and complete. You are, it's like the prodigal son that was one with God, let's say, and comes down and experiences life and runs after all of these things and sees that none of these things fill him up. And then he returns to his father's house, you know, mother, father, like Yahweh, the name of God, Yahweh, is feminine, masculine. It's feminine and masculine. Anyway, it's so cool. I found that out the other day. And so it encompasses both. But when the son or daughter goes back, and the parent runs to this child, picks them up, holds them, you know, has a party, gives the ring, gives the new cloak, is rejoicing that they came back to their senses, that you woke up to your higher soul self, that you can be aligned with love, and that you come from love, and that you can know this in your inner being. So when you learn how to do this, then you don't spiritually bypass, you don't run into spiritual highs, and you don't run into addictive ego highs, and you don't run after ego things. They start to lose their appeal to you. Thank God, thank the maker. You know, that's what I say, thank the maker from Star Wars. Because I was having such a struggle the other day, because I was like, the high of this one thing, just because you can be addicted to thoughts, you can be addicted to going back to a certain memory and trying to relive that memory in order to feel like loved or something. Then it's like, wait a second, I already am loved. I don't have to go back to a memory. I don't have to seek for something in the future. I don't have to get mad at myself for all my past. I can learn. I can reframe that. Guess what? The pain in my past and the feeling of being neglected and rejected and unwanted made it so that I want to know what true intimacy is and true love is, and how to have that in my life, and how to be really deeply present and in stillness, and how to not give into these outer, more superficial parts of myself that pretend they are my I, but I learned to be detached from them. All of my videos are teaching us how to be detached from them, because I'm always learning on this journey how to be more detached from them, and how to get into align with my true soul self and live in this place of expansiveness and in light in and love. And it lightens you up, just like it lightened my body. And so, okay, here's the 3 things, and then I'll wrap this up. Is the main thing we're talking about is your inner knowing, your intuition is connected to your soul self, is connected to God. And like, on my way here on this path, this is a path I haven't taken in a long time, and I was just led by my intuition today on this path. I remembered as I was walking on that trail over there, I came from that direction, I never come from that direction, that's where I did a cartwheel on one of my videos. And it's like I could feel the energy of me doing a cartwheel, because it was raining, and I was just like, I'm gonna do a cartwheel because I just feel like it today. And it's like I could feel that, and it's like that was almost a year ago or more. And it's like, but me doing that one action gave me the certain liveliness and energy today that showed up again, because I walked that same path just today, and I'm normally not on that path. And it gave me that funny feeling of like, what was I doing? Why was I doing a cartwheel in a video? Like, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? You know? And it's like, or singing a song because it's on my heart, and it's a meditation that I want to give to you guys. My songs are meditations. They're meditations to take you into a deeper place of love and of stillness. They're not me trying to sing imperfectly, like not very well on a guitar that I hardly know how to play still. You know, they're meditations. So enter into them. I welcome you. But anyway, okay, so your intuition can invite you. It's always an invitation. It's never a force. It's a still small voice. It's like it's like a whisper, and you have to turn it up to like 100. Go, wait, what was that saying? Like, that is so weird. Why do I buy this shirt? It didn't fit it the time before, that has a heart and a rose on it. And, you know, and why put it on today? I don't know. But you know what? The other day, someone on one of my Facebook groups or something posted a picture of these roses, and I had just bought roses that day, and she said roses are the highest vibration of flowers, and blah blah blah. And so if you ever feel off in your house, cut some roses and put them out, and then they'll help balance you. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's great, because I just bought these unicorn roses. I call them unicorn roses. And I bought these red roses for myself. And when I'm at the grocery store, sometimes it's like, why am I spending money on roses? You know, and it's like, just do it, you know. And I have to trust my intuition, and I follow it, and then all these things happen, and this happens, and it's like, oh, and you know what, just last night, this just reminded me, someone else in one of the groups put, a flower doesn't try to compete with other flowers, it just blooms, you know. And it was a picture of a rose blooming, you know. I'm like, ah. And so it's like, this is why I buy roses. I follow my intuition, and then my intuition feeds me for a month on me buying roses one time, because I'm more open to that love and the tenderness that my intuition, that God, the universe, divine love always is wanting to give me. And I open myself to that by doing a cartwheel on a video for you guys, you know, because I'm trying to bring love to you guys in your life, because I want to do that from my heart, because I know what it's like to be missing love, and I want other people to know love, and I want to know it. So I'm on this journey, this adventure to always know more and more love. And I always just have learned to give away what I have. And I may look silly, or I may look very unassuming. I don't look like a doctor and a psychologist, and I've been doing this for a number of years. I'm very professional sometimes in my other capacities, and you know, I got my doctorate, went to school for forever, blah blah blah. But it's like, I come out here and I just want to be me. I'm Cheryl. I'm more than Cheryl. Share L, that's God. I share God, which is love. And I'm a soul in a body, and this is my experience. And I just don't want you to be stuck in your pain, or in automatic, or following others and trying to get everybody else's approval. Why live your life in such, to me, that's boring. You can, you know, I'm not trying to judge, but it's like, to try to get everybody else's approval all the time is such a waste of our energy. You have a reason for being here, and it's so far beyond staying in shame and staying in guilt and hating yourself and trying to prove your worth in all these egotistical ways, and trying to numb yourself and all your pain, and go to addictions to get high, when you can be high in life by being passionate and by going in and facing all this stuff. And so, okay, so meditation, so creating space for your intuition to become alive, so you can hear it, so you can follow it. And one of the ways you do that is by committing to a meditation practice to cultivate stillness, because by observing thoughts, you neutralize them. They don't have all this power. You don't have to, and Eckhart totally says that in The Power of Now. Don't believe your thoughts, you know. You don't have to believe your thoughts. They're just thoughts, and they can bring up emotions. And then you have a pain body, and your pain body can react to other people's pain body. And then you just get lost in this cycle of aggressor victim, and putting your pain on them and putting their pain on you, and never giving love, and just staying in this place of neutrality and stillness and presence and non-egotism and soul. So moving from 3D egotism to 5D, your multidimensional, your soul self. There's that prayer of St. Francis, you know, it's like, make me an instrument of peace, but it's in part of the song that I have of it, it's like, it's in dying that I'm found. And on the way here, the song came on, it's like, light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. And I love, there's a line in it. It's like, if there's a shortcut, I would have found it, you know. There's no easy way around it. But this is the path of ease. When Jesus said, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Take my yoke upon you. My yoke, like, learn about this yoke. Okay, I can't just tell you what it is, because then your egotism will try to do that. It's like in my drawing, I had to turn Van Gogh's drawing upside down in order to get my drawing. Otherwise, your egotism tries to take control of it, tries to get some end. But enter into the mystery of what it is to be in this easy state. When you feel unconditional love, it's a lot easier. And when you create a safe space for your intuition, it's really scary. A lot of this is very scary. I've had to have so much courage and risk people rejecting me over and over and over again until I get to a place where I really don't care if people reject me, because I'm not going to spend my life trying to get their approval. And I've learned a lot more how to have boundaries with people and say no and be like, no, I'm not interested in you being in my life. If you're not aligned with me and my purposes and staying in love, then I let you go, and I wish you well, and I'm not going to judge you. You go on your own path. And if you want to be in judgment and all this stuff about me and my path, then you go there. I'm not interested. I'm not invested. And I learned to do that through this boring practice of meditation that I do every day. For years now, I've been doing a different kind of meditation, but it's similar. So you move from your 3D egotism to your 5D multidimensional self, which is so much more fun, your soul self. You unyieldingly go into these uncomfortable places. You feel to heal. So we learn how to go into our shadow self. I loved Aaron said the other day in one of the live videos that I was participating in with him, is he was saying, when you get to the end of your shadow, you just find more of yourself. So we're not afraid to go there. We don't spiritually bypass, He's like, learn how to I forgot how he was saying, like, let this new identity come into you. Reframe all these old labels of yourself and these old definitions and these old experiences that you've had, not in a sing-songy fake way, but to see that these things brought you to a greater sensitivity. That's what I was saying, is all of my pain from my past and feeling deeply rejected and not known and not welcomed, and all of that stuff makes me, not in a neurotic way, but really want to open my heart and just welcome people as they are, and let them know that they're loved as they are, before you've changed, before you've healed all this old stuff. No matter how much of your life you feel like you've ruined, or ruined other people's lives, or whatever has happened, you're meant to be loved. And you're meant to be known. And you can find that in your own life by learning how to be present. And it's scary at first to be present and in stillness, but it's so worth it. All of this is so worth it. And I have dark days where I can't see anything. I'm like Frodo when he's like, I don't remember the Shire. I don't remember the Brandywine River, and I don't remember this, and all of these beautiful things that are so beautiful in the Shire, He's just in darkness, and then he goes back into the light, and it's all light again, and the light of, what's her name, Galadriel, like, comes to him at the right moment, and the rope comes to them at the right moment for them to climb down, and they remember Tom Bombadil's song at the right moment. And he comes and finds them. This is like divine love will find you wherever you are. Ask divine love. Don't be afraid to ask. Please help me where I am. Help me know these deep things that Cheryl is talking about, and this deep love. And let me have it in my life so I can have it and also give it to others and live it. Because your life matters. So even when it's dark, I just tell myself, keep on keeping on. Just one more day, one more hour, just keep on, just keep on, because sometimes it gets dark. It's okay. I wish you so much love. Thank you for being here. I know this got long. I wanted to keep it at 20 minutes, but this is just what all needed to be said today. Share this with other people that you think are ready for this. I wish you so much love. Bye.